Every single player, every single Raid Shadow Legends account has problems with dungeons. So today, I'm going to be breaking down every single dungeon, giving you a short guide in one video. Guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I am Felra, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends today, here to solve all your dungeon issues. Starting with the potion keeps. Well, the potion keeps are actually pretty simple. Out-nuke them. The majority of them are just out-nuke them. Magic keep, out-nuke, bring a buff steel champion, or a buff strip champion. That's going to be your best way to combat it. Void keep, out-nuke. Force keep, out-nuke. Spirit keep, bring a heal reduction champion, preferably one on an A1 or a 3-turn cooldown. Rocktooth is he's an alright option for this, right? Rocktooth with a 3-turn cooldown, 100% heal reduction. He's okay for that. He is a campaign farmable rare. I do believe that he's guaranteed to get at the beginning of the game, so he's good for the Spirit Keep as well. Hey you, stop right there. Click my link in the description below to get a free Corrado, as well as Fane, Ugo, and Vergus as you level up your account in Raid. Here's exactly how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. If you're looking for a great start in Raid, this is your chance. Make sure you get your free Corrado and 3 free epics by clicking my link right away. Iron Twins Fortress, this one's a bit more advanced. You want a Geomancer for this, really. You want a Geomancer and some sort of ally protector, right? So Geomancer coming in. We don't yet have one on this account. The passive here decreases the damage all allies receive by 15% and deflects that damage onto each enemy under an HP burn debuff placed by this champion. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. Whenever this champion is attacked, deflects 30% of the damage instead. When deflecting damage on each enemy hit, has a 30% chance of dealing additional damage equal to 3% of the target's max HP. Of course, he has an HP burn on his A3 with a weaken, a buff strip, and then an AoE A1 with decreased accuracy. So he is going to be very good for all of these dungeons. You really want a Geomancer, you want some sort of healer, and you want an ally protector or a block damage champion, as I believe the Iron Twins ignores unkillable. But yeah, you just want a damage dealer and a Geomancer and an ally protector will solve that content for you. Minotaur's Labyrinth, just out nuke it, just kill it. Like it won't be hard to do with a certain level of gear. Maybe not necessarily doable in the beginning, but can definitely be done with decently good gear towards the end game. Or not towards the end game, towards the mid game, I should say. All right, Ice Golem's Peak. So the Ice Golem here, he has some interesting mechanics, right? He's got AoE freeze, AoE decrease accuracy, his A1 is in AoE, and then he attacks all enemies one time whenever his HP drops below 80%, 60%, 45%, 30%, and 15%. This attack will revive any dead allies to 100% HP. This attack will ignore 50% of each enemy's defense for each alive ally. This attack also has a 20% chance of placing freeze debuff for 1 turn. The chance of placing a freeze debuff increases by 40% for each alive ally. So he's got the allies. You want to kill the allies first. A really good way to do this is poison. So poison, if the boss takes damage from poison, he will not trigger his passive, right? So you can either attack all the allies and then try to nuke the boss and tank the hits, or you can use an AoE poison champion to try to not trip the passive at all and just kill the allies and kill the boss using poisons. You can also use HP burns. HP burns have the same deal as poisons do. They will not trip the boss's passive. So for that reason, champions like Ninja, champions like Artak, as well as any of your AoE poison champions will do really well. All right, Spider's Den. So the Spider is a bit of a rough boss because he's super tanky, and there's not really a good way to beat him except for HP burn activation. Again, your Artak is going to be really good here. What I would do though is, if you don't have an Artak, I'd just do AoE nukes. So I'd run AoE nukes. I'd run someone like a cleanser, like a Bad El Khazar, or maybe an epic cleanser. I'm not sure of any epic cleansers. Let me know epic cleansers in the comments below. I'm sure there are some. Let's see. And then I just use AoE, damage debuff, like drop defense, and then AoE damage to just kill the boss. Hex debuff will be really good here as well, just to spread damage around. So for that reason, I would recommend, if you have her, taking a Thessalia here. A Thessalia who has, when attacking enemies under decreased defense debuffs, has a 50% chance of placing a Hex debuff on them for 2 turns, right? Of course, she has a drop defense, kind of what you need for Spider early on, but other than that, use like an HP burn champion, or especially an HP burn activator. That'll be really helpful. When you get to hard mode, the boss will actually take damage when the spiderlings die. So hard mode is actually easier. So I just blitz through to hard mode and then farm hard mode, because normal mode is not worth farming in my opinion. All right, Dragon's Lair. Conquering the Dragon's Lair is also quite simple, because you can also, like the Ice Golem, use poisons. Poisons are your best friend in the Dragon's Lair, and if you did start with Kale, you've got a very good rare poisoner already. Attacks 4 times at random, has a 40 books to 50% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. A1 here, Dark Bolt, attacks 1 enemy, has an 80% chance, books to 100% chance of placing a 2.5% poison debuff for 2 turns. You can also use the rare champion Frozen Banshee, which I just did a guide on, right? Use the rare champion Frozen Banshee. We have not yet pulled one on this account, but she has poison sensitivity on her A3, which means that, you know, the boss will take more damage from poisons, as well as a poison A1 attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Each hit has an 80% chance, books to 100% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns if the target is under a poison sensitivity debuff. So your Frozen Banshee is really, really good for Dragon. I used her to farm Dragon 20 for a very, very long time. So basically any sort of AoE poisoner, right? My Celiac Priest Ornn is really good. Urogrim is really good. Any of the legendary AoE poisoners, Bad El-Khazar, Corvus the Corruptor, any of those guys, Theodore, the Savant, right? Any of those guys will really help you with Dragon. It's the easiest dungeon to farm, and it also gives the best gear, because it gives the speed gear, which you need to make your champions nice and fast. The next most important one to farm is the Fire Knight, and that one's important to farm because of Savage Gear, which allows you to ignore 25% of enemy defense, as well as Crit Damage Gear, which gives you an extra 20% crit damage. And the way you're going to do this dungeon is with multi-hit and ally attacks, right? So multi-hit A1s and ally attacks. So Farrakhan the Fat is a great champion that I did not understand the value of on my main account, and I actually fed him when I pulled him, which was really dumb of me. But he's got this beatdown. Places a 30% increased crit rate buff and a 30% increased crit damage buff on all allies except this champion for 3 turns. Then all allies except this champion will attack 1 target enemy. He's fantastic for Fire Knight. We recently got Alice the Wanderer in January. She has a potential triple hit A1, but she definitely has a double hit A1. So she's very good for Fire Knight as well. Heal reduction debuffs are going to be your best friend. So for that reason, we can bring Frostbringer. I think Frostbringer might be in my vault. Yeah. So Frostbringer, she has a A1 heal reduction, which is really good for the Spirit Keep as well as increased speed and increased attack on your entire team, and a 3-time at random hitter with decreased defense on her A2. So this is a champion that could definitely be used to conquer Fire Knight as well. But once again, you're going to be using your ally attacks and your multi-hit A1s. If you don't have either of those, bring a AoE counterattack. So Skullcrusher here is an epic champion with an AoE counterattack, places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns, places a counterattack buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns, places an unkillable buff on this champion for 1 turn. So that way, when the Fire Knight hits you, you can fire off all your multi-hit A1s into the shield and bring it down that much faster. So that's how you're going to do it as a new player. Then you also want a turn meter control champion. So once again, Geomancer coming in. Geomancer on his HP burn skill also has a full turn meter steal. So you can, before stage 21, you can turn meter control the boss, bring someone with turn meter reduction. Your Armiger is really good for this as well. The uncommon champion Armiger is fantastic for this. Do we still have one on this account? I don't know that we do. I don't know that we have an Armiger still on this account. Well, that's all right. We did have an Armiger, and he is what cleared us. Fire Knight, Armiger, and Relentless or something would be really good if you don't have a full turn meter steal. Let's see. Sand Devil. Sand Devil is interesting. Just bring Sand Devil ignores everything. So you kind of have to bring champs that can revive constantly. So Godseeker and Neri and Ninja can duo Sand Devil. Sifi and Adeline. So Adeline was a free login champ. If you have her, you can use it. Otherwise, I wouldn't. I would just play around with what works on your account for Sand Devil. It does have some specific mechanics, but, you know, they can be worked around. Namely, bring a sleep champ. Oh, yeah, Muckstalker or Mudstalker or whatever his name is. The Lizardman. He's a rare Lizardman who a lot of endgame players actually use. Muckstalker. I was kind of right. All right. Pounce on the A1 attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance of placing block buffs for 2 turns, and then attacks one enemy, places a sleep debuff for 2 turns if the target has no active buffs on a 2-turn cooldown. And then his A2 heal herbal balm places 15% continuous heal buff on this champion for 2 turns if incoming damage exceeds 20% HP in 1 attack. Right, so he is a really good budget sleep champion for Sand Devil, especially since he's got a sleep on the A2 there on a 2-turn cooldown. Definitely someone that you can use in Sand Devil early on. Along those same lines, you can use Hurler anywhere you want to remove buffs from a single target. So Hurler is a great champion. He has, let's see, this Firebolt attacks one enemy, removes 1 random buff from the target, fills the champion's turn meter by 30%. And then he has attacks one enemy, puts the target skills on cooldown, which is decent for arena. And then his A1 attacks one enemy 2 times each. It has a 25% chance to ignore defense by 50%. He's really good for the magic heap and anywhere else you need to remove buffs. So there is that. And then finally, the Phantom Shogun. So the Phantom Shogun, you kind of want to just outspeed and then out nuke. You can build a enfeeble tank because the Shogun will try to put a enfeeble debuff on the ally with the highest crit damage. He will try to kill that ally and then put enfeeble on your entire team. That's kind of the thing with the Shogun, as well as get high awakening levels before you attempt this, because he has a disadvantage against high awakening levels because he has this like Shogun counter thing. So definitely like build an enfeeble tank with high crit damage and nothing else. Someone tanky to survive, right? Highest crit damage on your team, which is kind of hard if you're using really good nukers, but it can be done. And then try to out nuke the boss. Make sure he can't kill you. Bring protecting champs, bring healing champs, all that good stuff. Well, guys, let me know if you have questions about the dungeons in the comments below. Hope this was helpful. I have been Felrus, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends, and I will see you in another video.